talking about? Look, it's Pop Smoke, niggas know me. Keep 2 4s like I'm Kobe. As you riding or you hiding, if you sliding and you owe me. Run up, catch cold feet. Niggas act up to call police. I don't make friends, y'all make niggas. Hey, y'all be my trophy. Shoot first, niggas shoot back. Oh, nah, niggas woo back. Nigga automatic with a woo clap. Shoot first, niggas shoot back. Oh, nah, niggas woo back. Nigga automatic with a woo clap. See you many men. Many men. Wish they fall in. Yeah, I don't cry no more. I don't look to the sky no more. Cause I got it on me. I got it on me. I got it on me. You can run up if you want.
We kick this fiesta off with a round of Breakthrough on Liberation Peak, where I immediately treat myself to a steel-plated mechanical bull, also known as a tank, because varied entertainment options are essential. Naturally, my party guests don't wait for long before the confetti starts flying, and by confetti I mean 120mm shells and turret bullets, a lot of them. There's something magical about piloting a 30-ton mobile atomizer. Forget pressing a button for a kill streak, you can simply become the natural predator of every camper-infested building on a map. No movement demon can outpace this industrial-grade monster, or like in my case, pick any unsuspecting enemy off the street like ants on a hill. As my warm-up act comes to a close, I realize something heartbreaking. Shells used to hit harder. Back in the glory days, Battlefield 3 and 4, the splash damage had personality, it had ambition. Now it's more like a polite nudge from a passive-aggressive roommate. And speaking of the old days, remember when classes actually had limits? When you couldn't have half a server spawn in as a rocket guy, I kinda miss that. These days the entire enemy team can synchronize their rocket launchers like a budget fireworks show. Then there's the stuff older Battlefields absolutely nailed. Where's the official DICE training map? I don't want to hop into some half-broken community map with the stability and loading time of a Windows XP laptop running on hopes held up by duct tape. The large maps feel very crowded at times and now allow for pristine tactical deployment under protection of the maximum enterable area for your enemies. How very convenient. Or to put it bluntly, you can basically camp out of your spawn on certain maps. It feels like the maps are determined to shove players into non-stop conflict. Fast pacing isn't the issue. It's the almost overzealous way the game funnels everybody into constant firefights that starts to feel like a bit much. And speaking of questionable execution, the mobile AA. The poor thing went from sky-shredding nightmare to something closer to a polite warning label. A deterrent, a suggestion. I've watched buggy gunners rack up scarier damage numbers. Meanwhile, tanks with guided missiles are moonlighting as better anti-air platforms than the actual anti-air. It's heartbreaking, especially since jets got buffed with low radar dodges, slick maneuvers and extra deployable bombs. I'm still trying to find the balancing equation that makes it make sense. On top of that, modes like air superiority are nowhere to be found. Hopefully they're still on the menu somewhere down the line, because they would solve more problems than they create. At this time and stage of the game, trying to get into any flying vehicle is a rather troublesome ordeal. The attack chopper and jets get swamped on spawn by my own team, pounce on like an unsuspecting rabbit grazing in hog territory. I even watched somebody plant a sound-activated anti-tank mine directly on a spawn point just to guarantee they'd be the one to claim it. Truly a work of villainy. The best part? They managed to pilot it for maybe 15 seconds before going down in flames. Cosmic justice delivered promptly. Moments like that make me think that a mode like air superiority will take a lot of pressure off. It'd give everybody a chance to get comfortable with aircraft instead of leaving the skies to a handful of egocentric maniacs willing to go full gremlin to secure a seat. I've got to admit something though, I'm not pushing this out of pure selfless virtue. I've absolutely caught myself hawking every deployable aircraft like a hungry falcon, which makes me part of the problem, and to borrow the spirit of that one Michael Jackson song about looking in the mirror and fixing your own nonsense first, I should probably cool it too. Give yourself a few tries, sure, but don't overdo it. Spawn on the ground every now and then. You can even claim you touched some grass and enjoyed a bit of sunlight, even if it's only happening through a monitor. After that breakthrough defeat, I needed something resembling peace, so I hopped into squad deathmatch, because apparently, I thought a smaller map, tighter spawns and 4 angry squads would calm my nerves and hand me a shiny KD for the clips. My aim was warmed up, the plan was solid, and I knew the map layout well enough to sketch it from memory. Mid-control, domination, easy life. Yeah, no. You would have to be as delusional as a torta using a close-up selfie on a profile pic to think I wouldn't notice the elephant tap dancing in a room. It brought an old joke to mind. 2 gamblers walk out of a casino, one is completely naked, the other one is down to just his underwear. The naked one turns and says, "That's why I respect you, you know when to quit." Preparation helps, sure, but you can't outmuscle pure randomness. EA is the casino, Battlefield is a slot machine, and 99% of gamblers quit before they hit it big. I'm down to my socks and I refuse to fold. The battle dads out here love to say it's about playing tactical, sticking with your squad, slowing things down, and honestly, they're not wrong. It's a sandbox, every player gets to carve out their own weird little playstyle, but I always want to ask them one thing. Have you ever tasted what's on the other side? Not the neat, tidy round where you farm flags, rack up points, revive your bodies and secure a safe win. I'm talking about the rush of a 20 kill streak. The moment you are deleting anything with a pulse, and suddenly half a server is laser focused on erasing you from existence. The moment you become the lobby's designated public enemy. It's that John Wick feeling, minus a tragic backstory. Plus a few more hit marks. Chat flaming you for running a metal loadout, accusing you of hacking, throwing digital tomatoes your way. It's absurdly glorious. Maybe it's a dash of god complex, but if David's warriors could take on absurd odds and ancient battle tales, I can at least strive to boost those numbers in the online arena. The mythos has to start somewhere. And that brings me to the real kicker. PC players. I don't know if it's just me, but they're a completely different breed, not just in skill but playstyle. The whole thing screams sweaty. This isn't about the last match, it's about the last one I played while editing this video. Crossplay was on late night because of empty lobbies, and I already knew the average skill would be higher. My pipe dream of hitting a 1.5 to 2 KD, yeah, shattered. They slammed me to the wall like a frog in the open sea, making me discover tricky spots on maps I didn't even know existed. Every corner became a potential trap. It took a few rounds to adjust, but eventually I started recognizing the running patterns and routes. Intercepting them with a 66 damage DMR became surprisingly easy once I stopped obsessing over my KD and focused on studying their behavior. The upside? Anytime I switch crossplay off, console matches feel noticeably easier. PC players spot you faster, move more aggressively and pressure you constantly. It's high intensity, high pressure practice and the banter is actually welcoming. Meanwhile, most console players don't even know how to open chat, let alone spot enemies. Maybe it's also about sound. PC players tweak EQ and advanced audio settings outside the game, while us console players are stuck with whatever preset Sony or EA decided. Fourth match rolls around and suddenly I'm fighting what feels like a reunion tour of retired cold sweats. The moment console players start bunny hopping while shooting, I know I'm dealing with a paddle enjoyer. No hate from my side. Dropping cash on hardware just to gain an advantage in an online game is peak dominance energy. It's also a severe sign of taking things way too seriously, and I absolutely support it. Not because I condone pay to sweat, but because if you show up fully kitted like a cyber gladiator and I still clap you, the endorphin spike hits like divine intervention. It's adorable, honestly. All that power, all those tools, yet the aim of a bored house cat. It's living proof that power in fragile hands burns like a lukewarm flame. Even my turn smiled when wielded poorly. Meanwhile, I'm out here on a 55-inch pre-corona TV with a basic PlayStation controller. Apple Music blasting loud enough to erase every single in-game footstep. I stack handicaps on myself out of pure boredom. You are out here fully optimized, layered with tech enhancement like you are preparing for a moon landing. All to satisfy my bloodlust. The only time I break a sweat is when I accidentally set my graphics to performance mode. Obviously, the last things I said contained a couple of white lies. First of all, I'm always on performance mode. There's no universe where I'm willingly giving anyone an edge. Second of all, I'd absolutely buy a paddle controller if I had the spare cash. I'm just too stingy. So I cope by projecting my insecurities onto you like that one friend who masked their issues behind jokes. You know the type, everyone laughs it off until your other friends start pulling you aside like, hey, you noticing the pattern? Then you start replaying things in your head. The nagging, the petty shots, the weird moral lectures after you push a kid off their bikes or refuse to give up your train seat, hypothetically of course. Then one day the simmering tension boils over, you fall out, both sides ready to throw hands, and then months, maybe even years go by. Eventually you cross paths again, the heat long gone, and all you manage is a stiff nod. Not angry, not friendly, just awkward enough to make a passing NPC blush. Last round. This map. This map. I've got mixed feelings. At first I couldn't stand it, but once you figure out its rhythm, it becomes a playground of controlled chaos. Barricade the building, toss explosives down the staircases and choke points, and wait for the enemy to flatten the place out of pure concentrated spite. Just a heads up, watch for grenade launchers, incendiaries, claymores, rockets, and of course C4. Basically anything that turns your surroundings into divorce paperwork. A mobile barricade shield is mandatory. The narrow entry points make this a support player's paradise. Grab something with a high rate of fire, a solid damage output. Some people will even go full goblin mode with a shotgun, but let's not descend that far into the abyss. Once you learn the enemy routes, the map becomes easy pickings. If you are feeling bold, you can even run loops and push the enemy spawn around, but make sure your aim is powered by hopes and dreams alone. Otherwise, lean back and enjoy. When the opponent starts spawning as engineers just to hunt you personally, and half the building vanishes in a dramatic architectural farewell, that's when you know you've done excellent work. They're not just mad, they've developed a vendetta arc.